The pilot had reported smoke in the cockpit, and there's speculation that sabotage was involved. Most of the passengers were from Taiwan and Japan, 70 were from South Africa. James Mates at ITN reports.
A major air and sea search was launched immediately from Mauritius and the nearby French island of Réunion. French military planes have seen wreckage, including an emergency escape chute, but they found no sign of survivors. Some search planes are carrying equipment capable of picking up the homing signal transmitted by the aircraft's black box. The French frigate Grandier is among several ships on their way to the scene, but none are expected to arrive before midnight. Aviation experts say that realistically, no one stood a chance of surviving the initial crash. Flight SA-295 had been en route from Taipei in Taiwan to Johannesburg, scheduled to refuel on the island of Mauritius. At 15 minutes to midnight, the pilot sent an emergency signal, saying there was a fire in the cockpit and he was beginning an emergency descent. 18 minutes later, he was given permission to descend further, and he acknowledged that signal. Nothing more was heard. At Johannesburg Airport, relatives due to meet the plane waited anxiously for news. Within a few hours, they knew their worst fears were true.
Some debris have been spotted. Also a dinghy and some suitcases floating on the approach, on the line, the route of the aircraft, but no survivors were seen.
One of the things which I think is going to be a major consideration, it's going to have to be looked into, is sabotage. Boeing 747s don't come out of the sky just like that.
Of the last 3 747s to crash, 2 were brought down deliberately. The Korean Jumbo in 1983 was shot down by the Russians. In 1985, an Air India jet was destroyed by a bomb. Only the crash of a Japan Airlines 747, also in 1985, was caused by a structural fault. The South Africans are known to be strict on security, second only to the Israelis. They also have a reputation as a highly efficient airline. There will be many theories as to what caused a plane like this to catch fire in mid-air, but sabotage will be high among them.
In Northern
Several
Ireland,
hours searching from ships and aircraft, one plane reported sighting wreckage in the ocean, but there were no signs of any survivors. Raising fears, this is the worst disaster in South Africa's aviation history. The search went on throughout the hours of daylight, coordinated from airports on the islands of Mauritius and Réunion. The 747 was about 150 miles out from Mauritius Airport when the captain radioed to request permission for an emergency descent because of a fire on board. Soon after, all contact was lost. All through the morning at Johannesburg Airport, final destination for the missing 747, devastated relatives and friends waited for any positive news, slowly realizing that none was likely.
I can't even stand here. My whole body's shaking. I mean, this is a great shock. I can't believe it, what happened. I can't believe it.
At a news conference in Johannesburg, South African Airways confirmed a fire had broken out on the jumbo jet.
The last message that we received from the captain was that there was smoke in the cockpit and that he probably had a fire.
A list of the missing crew and some of the 140 passengers thought to have boarded at Taipei has been published, mostly Taiwanese and South Africans.
About 3 aircraft were in the air searching in a relatively short period after contact was lost. There are boats searching. Aircraft was also sent from Réunion by the French authorities and a boat. The Americans have sent an aircraft to search, to look.
South African Airways had a high safety standard. The last time one of its aircraft crashed was almost 20 years ago.
One of the 2 French hostages freed in Beirut said tonight he